Hey guys, in this video it's going to be a discussion about the summaries of planning to leave our wives with information, so if God forbid anything happens to us, it'll be a seamless transaction for them to just continue to carry on with things like pensions. Our niece is here to visit us, and she is coming with us and our neighbor to the restaurant, to Taverna, for Mother's Day. So we'll just do a little goodbye video for her, and that's what this video will be like. Thank you for joining us, and here we go. What happens to your Filipino partner or children if something happens to you tomorrow? Now, I know there's been other videos on this, but we're going to hit some points on here that I think will be a little bit added valuable information. So just quick questions. Will they be locked out of your accounts? You know, all of your accounts, whether you have a Wise card, a PayPal, a Gcash, you know, whatever you have. It might be a great idea if our partners, our wives, fiancés, you know, spouses know what to do, exactly what to do if something should happen, even if it's temporary or permanent. You know, the struggles for them to access our pension, our Social Security, any of our local bank accounts if we have them. In this special series, we're going to walk through practical, no-cost ways to protect your loved ones, God forbid if the unthinkable happens, and we're going to kind of role play out the failing to plan. Should it land in your home country, in my case, the US? Should it land in a Philippines bank? And the pros and cons of both, because there's two sides to that. But if we want to give earned control to someone we love and someone who might even be taking care of our children, we need to give them access to do so in case we're not here temporarily or permanently. So this is a whole series on the family planning that we have going on here. We want to legally, you know, safeguard and grant our partners, wives, fiancés, again, and trusted loved ones the proper way to access things so they don't have any problems. All right, you guys, so this is my wife, my beautiful wife. She's agreed to come on the show for just a few minutes to kind of role play this out. And I'm going to ask her a couple questions. This is not rehearsed. So, hon, I want to ask you a question. If something were to happen to me right now, do you have access to my Social Security, pension, any of the credit cards, the debit cards, like my Wise card, my Gcash? Do you have any access to that if, God forbid, something should happen?
Maybe one of them, but not all of them.
Okay. So how about, like, sometimes we'll go into Western Union. Our daughter will send us the Western Union pension money if we need it, you know. If we don't want to bother with it going through our bank and stuff, we can just go get it cash. I take her with me. She goes, and sometimes I like them to see her face, to know her, to know who she is. So, you know, KYC is part of this too, know your customer. And I know in the US that's a big deal. And it actually is here too. So our bank, we bank with 3 different banks, but we have a primary, and everyone in the bank knows both of us. Of course, she introduced me to them. She had, you know, accounts with them for many, many years, right?
Yeah.
So, so I think it's important that our wife, you know, and I'm saying our wife because be very careful. If they're not your wife, you know, if it's a fiance, a girlfriend, or, you know, someone else, be very careful with that. You know, be careful who you give access to. Now, we're going to talk about several ways to give access to. There's formal and informal. If I give my wife my Wise card, she knows my PIN, there's no facial recognitions required. She can go grab my pension off of that. If I show her how to do the transfer, that's important. Show them how to do the transfers on your phone, because most of us have an app that we do that with, just as she has an app for her own bank accounts. Mm-hmm. So this is a very important topic. You know, you guys, we're out there trying to set our wives out, our Filipino partners up for success. And we don't want any problems when we're gone. Most of us are older than our wives. You know, we kind of assume the environment that we will pass first. If that's, you know, the way maybe natural causes or even accidents, which we go into in our transportation series, what could happen. I want to let them have access to important documents. First of all, our pension, Social Security, and any kind of other interest income we might have from our country of origin, in my case, again, the U.S., she needs to know. And one other quick thing is life insurance. We're going to have a separate episode on that. And by having life insurance, you're going to find out, and I've already had this discussion, we both had it with our family attorney, that if you have life insurance and you took it out in your country of origin, let's say the US or the UK, and not in the Philippines, it's not a Philippine-based life insurance company, it's a problem. And he's already experienced that with families of foreigners who left life insurance for their wife. And it is very, very complicated and time-consuming for the beneficiary, the wife, to collect on that. So we don't want to. We want to give you these strategies in these series, and that's what these videos are all about. I've got a lot of my apps are on my wife's phone, and vice versa. So I can access her bank accounts. She can access mine. If you make it to where you don't have to have a Face ID, you can just enter the password. That makes it pretty simple. Just pretend you're talking to one of your girlfriends, and she's asking you that question. She's saying, "What should I know? What should I do? My husband passed away. Where do I go first? What's the first thing I do?"
Maybe we need to know the access to our husband, like pension, because we might not know what will happen later on.
So having access to your husband's pension is important. And I know a lot of husbands are watching this, so it's vice versa. And that's a whole different part of the series. Will be a separate video on what we need from our Filipino wife in case, God forbid, the table's turned and she's gone. And I know there's other videos and other channels that have talked about this. I think Old Dog Paul is one of them, and he laid it out pretty well. So, I talked to our attorneys as well, and like I said, I used to do estate planning in the U.S. So things like, right now my wife and I are going through property selling. We're liquidating some of our assets, and there are things we're finding out. In fact, just when we have a buyer, they want to buy it, and that's when we all of a sudden find out, well, wait a minute, we're missing some documents that the buyers are requesting. So that's another separate video on real property too, and documents that you really should get. Even if you never plan on selling your property, you should have it. And again, it's part of a series, but to have everything in one place to start with, have a file with pretty much everything there, access codes, PIN numbers, and I don't necessarily mean written. Might be safer to keep it digitally, that depends on you and what you're more comfortable with. But I know I'm comfortable with giving my wife this, and I know a lot of, we'll get in the comments, you got to be careful. It might be your wife, but what happens if, and I'm sure all the other YouTubers get the same comments when they discuss things like this. But actually, Mike in Mike's Filipino Retirement said it pretty well. You have to be in a relationship where you can trust. And yes, again, you can trust people until you can't. We all know that. We're big boys and girls, but you have to relinquish some trust, no matter what. So I think giving them the information is really crucial to yourself too, because you don't want to do all these things for them, leave them a home, and leave them a little bit of money or a lot of money, however circumstances are different for each of us. But you don't want that to be in vain. I mean, you don't want them to struggle, have to figure out where it is, especially if in the country of your origin, again, whether it's the U.S., the U.K., wherever, it's difficult for them to contact people out there. So have numbers and names of your family out there that that you trust out there enough to have them communicate if necessary, if ever necessary. God forbid not. But it's kind of important that they have it all laid out and leave it in one digital file or one physical file or both. And we come out here with a certain amount of money, and we also come out here with just a certain amount of monthly income. So we just want to make sure that it goes on after us. You know, it moves on. The things that we built out here, we want to carry on. We want our wives to carry on, our children to carry on. And some of us have children, biological children with our Filipino wife, and some of us just have sort of adoptive children. Some are informally adoptive, some are not. I know I've got two, one son, one daughter, but that are pretty much like, you know, like my own children. I treat them like my own children, and I know a lot of you do as well. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this restaurant review, just really quick for Mother's Day, and I'll be giving some more details on the financial planning for everyone here. I want to get some questions in the comments. That way, I can put some more directly relative content for those who are asking questions in the next video of the series, which will drop in about probably 48 hours or so. Okay, let's take a quick look at this. Here it's Mother's Day, so we are going to a restaurant, and we just do a little quick restaurant review type thing. And because there's so much, but just menu highlights, and you'll see in the videos, they have appetizers, dips. It's sort of a Mediterranean-inspired restaurant. The food is fantastic. They have a deep fried Greek spinach pie filled with cream cheese and spinach and honey. They have cured salmon there if you like fish. They had baba ganoush, which is really hard to get out here. Okay, so we're at Taverna. This is the this is the garden. It's actually called May's Garden, which is right outside Taverna, and the tables are in there. So when we're ready, they're going to hold us a seat for 4 people because they're completely booked tonight. But the lady called and she said that we can do a 5 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. walk-in. So that's what we're doing. However, I'm highlighting this because there's May's Garden is out here, and you can do like walking tours, and they charge a little fee. I'm not sure how much it is. I'll find out and I'll put it on the screen. But smile, you're on candy camera. Where'd sister go? Smile, sister. You're on candy camera. And I think May's is in here. I'm not sure. So there's a zebra over there. And this is the garden here. And as you can see, no ticket, no entry. No ticky, no washi. No ticket, no entry. And we've never actually taken the walking tour here. But I got a little trampoline here for the kids or the adults. And that's pretty cool in here. It's nice grounds. They got gazebos. I think they hold a lot of events here. And there's like 4 other restaurants in this, in all these separate buildings here. There is a resort here. So there's a resort. I'm not going to do any filming of the resort today. That'll be a separate video. But just letting you know, it's kind of cool. The restaurant is really cool because you can take a walk around here and just get an idea. Oh, there it is. There's the sign up there. If I can get I can get a picture of that sign. So, anyway, that's that. Wow, these look like brand new shredders. Wow. Hello, I'm here with
Hi, Neryn. I'm working at Taverna.
Okay, so this is Taverna, and we're waiting for a table, and they're nice enough to accommodate us. And I know the food is great here. My family comes here all the time, but for our audience, we want to share the experience with them. So
Yes,
we'll see you soon, right?
Oh, yes,
You let
sir.
me know when the
Okay.
table's ready. All right. Can we sit inside? You're going to be in our vlog, okay? Be in our vlog. Here we go. Thank you.
Lamb chops?
Good choice, lamb chops.
That's one.
Ano
Lamb
imo,
chops.
te?
What?
Chicken? Chicken.
What are your sides for your side? Plain rice, potato, yellow rice. That tempeh, medium rare.
Well done.
Well done.
Ini ay mo, chicken sublake. Sir, amo na imo.
Chicken souvlaki.
Yeah.
Ano imo rice? Plain or yellow?
So our Mother's Day dinner consisted of some appetizers. We got 2 of the pita bread and hummus appetizers to share amongst the 4 of us. And we also got 1 sweet potato soup, which was excellent. And then, of course, we got a couple of mango shakes, a cucumber shake, and an iced tea for drinks. But the main course was pan-fried pepper steak with rice. The other one was lamb burger with potato wedges. And one was a New Zealand lamb chops with rice plate. And then the 4th one was the lamb kebab meal with rice. All excellent, excellent meals. So we've come to the end of our meal. And sister is still eating because she got her meal last. And of course, the person to pay. So, all right, you guys, it's the next morning, and as I told you, you saw we had a great meal there at Taverna, and our niece is leaving this morning to go back to her home in Bacolod and back to her work, her job. My wife and her are just picking some vegetables and some fruits out there for her to take back from her garden. Her garden keeps growing more and more, thank God. And what we're going to be doing next is planting some, I believe, some camote and some other things out there in the rice fields beside rice. All right, you guys, this is my niece, Gigi, and my wife, and she's getting ready to go back home to reality tomorrow, today, work. So now, as you know, Filipinas are very shy in front of a camera. Which is kind of strange because they really watch a lot of videos on TikTok and Facebook, but in any event, so I just wanted to say goodbye to her and wish her well. God bless, a good trip back home. Contact us when you get back there. Anything you guys want to say? Did you guys have a good dinner last night?
Thank you for the dinner.
Anyway, and I'll be doing a house tour this week too. I'll probably be on Tuesday. I'll be doing a home tour here. So we will chat with you guys then. Until the next video. God bless and have a good day. Who's driving? What the? Like and subscribe to all of our daily and weekly fresh video content. Thank you and have a blessed day.